So I want to make this video based off this call I just had. I'm at work, leaving right now. This is my last day before I go on to my little mini vacation to move into the house and everything like that. Is this lady able to get in? Yeah, she's good. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so last day before I have to, go to the house and everything like that. Gotta go home and pack right now. Get this call from one of those damn like robo dialer or whatever, like, hey, did you vote? I've been getting all these damn text messages. I always respond to them. If it's like, hey, this is Rebecca from Your Black Voice or something like that, I'd be like, hey man, fuck all that, show me some titties. And I text them back that shit. And then some people be like, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and remove you from this. And it's like, nah, fuck all that, don't be shy, send me some titty pics. So nobody responds, probably blocked me or something like that. This lady calls. She says, hey, did you vote today? And I was like, no, I didn't vote for anybody. And she's like, why not? And I was just like, well, why would I pick the lesser of two evils? They're both evil. Either one of them, you could look at how one handled the coronavirus and anything else that's going on. I really don't get into the politics, but and then you look at even Biden and possible what's it called, the unknown, or the unknown, how he's gonna handle the uncertainty. There it is. The uncertainty of how he's gonna handle taxes and tax reform and stuff. The stuff that people are probably saying to scare you. So there's that. Now I'm listening to this lady, and she's like, well, okay, well, what about your local elections? And I was just like, well, I'm moving to Georgia tomorrow, so yeah, it doesn't really matter, I won't be here. And she was like, well, yeah, you should still try and vote and stuff like that, and the lesser of two evils. And I was like, well, and I said, well, with the way since Trump handled the virus so poorly and everything was slow and not being decisive, it allowed me to actually get a really decent interest rate on my new home, and I'm able to actually work from home and actually move out of state because of this, right? And she was just like, oh my God, 100-something thousand people, 200,000 people died. And I was just like, yeah, it's kind of like nature in a forest fire. It's sad. And again, she doesn't ask me what happened to me. She didn't ask me what bad things happened to me. I told her the good, but I didn't tell her that I had to walk away from a business that I invested 6 figures into and had to pay back the debt, and then I still have like a little bit of the debt left to pay, and had to leave my business partner with the bulk of the debt because he didn't want to leave it. And I was like, no, I'm getting out of this as best as possible, or as quick as possible. If I have the opportunity, I'm gonna do so, and I did. And she didn't ask me of any of that. She doesn't ask me about that. She just says, hey, what you said hurt my feelings, and made me feel as if that you're a bad person, or that's a bad way to look at things. So she starts going off and starts saying all types of other stuff, and I go back and forth with her, and I'm talking to her, and I'm saying, like, it's like a forest fire. Forest fire is dangerous, it's bad, it displaces the homes of many people and animals, but at the same time, what happens thereafter? And she was like, no, you're just disconnecting yourself from the emotion of it all. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I am, because I don't cry over every other person that dies around me, especially if it's like especially if it's not a family member or somebody that's close. Like, people die every day, and it's sad. I think I had coronavirus, and I didn't do too well during that, and like, I could have died because of that. Who knows if it was really bad? I'm definitely obese. Like, nature does not care. And the point of this video, which is the title will be, people think nature's sweet. Nature is not sweet. Nature is not nice. Nature is very vicious. I mean, honestly, if anything, what man has done to nature itself is to, in a sense, in some cases, is to tame nature. And not so much, and even to tame ourselves as beings or animals within nature or within the environment. The human animal. So people really think nature is sweet. Like, you know, it's just like, oh, well, you know, all these people died and it shouldn't have been this way. And it's just like, I didn't curse at the lady. I didn't disrespect the lady. I just said that doesn't make any sense. I mean, and she was just like, well, you know, this virus, you know, and I was like, well, where did the virus come from? She was like, it doesn't matter where it came from. And I'm like, yes, it does. It's unless we find out that this came out of some lab in Wuhan, which it sounds like it did. But unless we really find out that if concrete came out of this some lab, it could have really jumped from a snake to a bat to a human, whatever, in some fish market. I think that's a BS story. I really do think it's something that came out of a lab. But I asked her, I was like, where did it come from? And then she was just like, well, you know, it doesn't matter. And I was like, it's a novel coronavirus, meaning that it came from nature and we don't know where it came from, and it has unknown origins. So it may have actually came from nature. And I was like, if anything, nature has caused this to happen. And, you know, like, nature, not even caused it, maybe, you know, allowed it. And of course, she's only looking at the 200,000 people that died in America. Does she even care about the millions of other people that have died in other countries? I think the death toll is well over 1 million worldwide, maybe even 2 million. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when I hear this, it's just like people talk a good game about, you know, when you take them out of their comfort zone, they talk a good game about politics and all this other stuff and virtue signaling, and Biden's going to do this for us, Trump is going to do this for us. But when you start saying things like that to people, again, she sounded like a younger woman, and she, at the end of it, she was just like, I can't believe you said that. You know, a lot of people died. And I was like, yeah, but I'm going to get a home. And I mean, yeah, that sucks. You know, like, my business died. It's something that I actually worked on for 3 years. And I totally lost everything from that. Or sorry, I totally lost everything that I put into that. You know, even the time, especially. I can't get that back. How do I feel? How does that how does that affect my future? What is that going to do to me? You know, like, people don't care. Oh, if I said, hey, I voted for Biden, get off my phone. Anyways, the point is, people think nature's sweet, and it's not. We really have to get past this whole, hey, nature is something that's kind and caring, and nature over nurture. If nature is so sweet, or if nature is so sweet, then why do animals die on a regular basis? What is the circle of life? How do you deal with if you're hungry and there's something over there like a cute rabbit that you want to eat? How do you deal with your hunger and that rabbit living? Who wins in that situation? If you're starving and that rabbit is right there for the taking, what choice are you going to make? What choice are you going to make if it's your child? Why do people really, you know what? I know why people think this way, because there's so many abstraction layers between us and nature. Even myself, being able to be my size and be able to even actually be able to still be alive with glasses, period. Things with poor vision, humans with poor vision haven't always had an easy life. They miss a couple things that might be flying at them, right to their face. So if that's the case, I could die at any point in time if I don't have my glasses on. If things weren't done for me or done in my environment to allow a person that has glasses to actually live. People don't think about these things. People really think nature is that sweet. All right, just wanted to get that out. I thought that was hilarious, and I'm gonna go home and pack and you know, get ready for this 6-hour drive, you know, and hopefully I can make it, because hopefully nature don't take my ass on that. Alrighty, as always, thanks for listening, and I appreciate you. Nature ain't sweet. Sugar is, though.